Good day, YouTube. This is J Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on HITI. I've covered them numerous times. They're probably still one of my favorite MJ stocks out there. I'm down on all of them, but probably have the biggest return on this one. And they just have a lot of potential going for them, and I just like to watch them and keep them on my watch list. But as you can see, they're down over 81% in the last year. In the past 3 months, down over 43%. The past month, down 2%. In the past week, down 4.7%. And they're actually green today. We're seeing some green in some of the green products, the MJ stocks. So ticker HITI. If you don't know much about them, go ahead and feel free to pause and go over the rest. We'll read some more on them here later on. So headquartered in Alberta, Calgary, founded in 2009. Small, $89.31 million market cap, but tons of room to grow. High today of $1.41, low of $1.36, high 52-week high of $7.98 and a 52-week low of $1.35, with an average volume of 109,000 and volume here today of 114,000. Here's a look at their earnings. Next is on September 14th after hours. These I do not have here in this account. I still have a Robinhood account, but I did transfer these to a different brokerage, so but I since then opened up a different Robinhood. HITI closes the second tranche in its acquisition of Choom, adding established retail store in Niagara Falls, Ontario. And as you can see, this is dated on the 1st. So I've been covering HITI for quite some time. They were HITIF. Not even on the major exchange. You couldn't get them on Robinhood. Then they went to HITID, I believe, and now HITI. Just as you can see there, HITI. So a leading retail-focused MJ company with brick and mortar as well as global e-commerce assets is pleased to announce that further to its press release dated on July 7, 2022 and August 4th, the company has completed the acquisition through company's proceedings of the final retail MJ location, the store, out of a 9-store portfolio. The transaction, the store is located at 7555 Montrose Road in Niagara Falls, Ontario. So if you've been to this one, go ahead and list that in the comments. And is situated in Niagara Square, an outlet mall anchored by numerous national big box and discount retailers. For 3 months ended April 30th, collectively the store, along with the 8 Choom locations that were previously acquired by HITI, generated annualized revenue of $10.2 million, annualized adjusted $1.3 million in Canadian. And I covered that on one of my last HITI videos, so I'll link that in the description as well. Here's some of the transaction details if you'd like to go into that. And like I said earlier, here's a little bit more about HITI. They're a leading retail-focused MJ company with brick and mortar global e-commerce. So they're kind of like Walmart and Amazon combined. So you have brick and mortar as well as the e-commerce, the website, located in Ontario, Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. The company is also North America's first MJ discount club retailer under the Canna-Cabana banner. Canna-Cabana banner. Say that 10 times. Here's a look at some of their websites for over a decade through established e-commerce platforms. So that says a lot about them. For over a decade, they've established e-commerce platforms, including GrassCity.com, SmokeCartel.com, DailyHighClub.com, Dankstop, and more. Recently in hemp-derived CBD space through New Leaf Naturals, Fab CBD, Blessed, and it seems like they just keep adding on to the different. So between the brick and mortar, the e-commerce, just their name and just the growing and expansion and everything they have going on, that's why I've always been one to follow HITI and have for quite some time. And again, still one of my favorite MJ plays out there. So here's a look at their story. Combined, our online platform saw over 100 million two-site visits throughout 2020. That's just 1 year. In 2021, we were featured in the 3rd annual report, and so just need to get the stock to reflect it. It can wait to go up. That way, it can acquire more shares and just keep them and hold them. This is a long-term hold for me. So here's some of the brands that we already went over. HITI closes the second tranche acquisition of Choom, so I covered that in one of my last videos, and pretty much every time I cover them, they have a new location going in, and just in the news all the time with all of their products and everything. Over here on Reddit, 24 days ago, 2 months, nothing really update here that I haven't covered already. Over here on StockTwits, currently at $1.41, low of $1.36, high of $7.98. Have an amazing time back home, visiting my family and friends in Edinburgh. Every deep fried haze I ate, pint of lager I think makes me think I should buy more shares. I never know what you're going to find here on StockTwits. Always interesting. And so bearish. Well, the dip got eaten fast. So over here on MSN Money, currently, and this one's always had great ratings, currently shown as a buy with an upside to $7.83. And I just did one on Hexo and it showed a strong sell, and this one's showing a buy, so that's got to say something for this company. So again, that's why it's one of my favorites. Had great ratings and just everything's great about it except the price right now, but that'll go back up. So here you can see where they were listed on June 3rd at $9, so it never even has broke $10, so there's just so much room for this one to grow. And especially at these prices, I mean, I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice, but you could buy 100 shares, invest $141, $142, and who knows what it's going to turn into in 2 to 5 years. So just a thought, but again, I don't give tax, legal, or trading advice, just state my opinion. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, following Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.